It's time for your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your mid-morning forecast update for the state of Alabama. And we've got a nice looking picture of some fog here from Sandra Kirkwood. This was near Whitesburg there, near the 231 bridge over the Tennessee River south of Huntsville. Had a good bit of fog showing up in some of the river valleys, especially in the northern part of the state this morning. Not widespread enough for dense fog advisories, but definitely had some of that. But looks like I think most of that started to dissipate now. And looking at our satellite and radar across the state, other than some of that earlier this morning, it is blue skies, completely clear, no rain, no clouds, about as quiet as it gets. And we expect that to continue for next couple of days. And we can see that looking at our sky cams, blue skies at Dauphin Island, 73 degrees. Look at that dew point, 57 degrees. So we've definitely got the dry air entrenched across the state from north to south. And it's been some nice fall-like mornings the last couple of mornings. Montgomery, same thing, blue skies, 71 degrees, dew point of 53. Got a little bit of a breeze out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. And as we continue to move towards the north, it's not more of the same here, a little bit cooler as we head north generally, but overall feeling about the same, 71 degrees there in Hoover. Beautiful view there from the Galleria Tower. And as we move further to the north, up into the northwestern part of the state in Lawrence County, Hatton is a little cooler there at 66 degrees. But again, just nice dry air mass here, blue skies. I don't think we've got a cloud over probably anywhere across the state right now. So here's a look at your low temperatures that we saw this morning. So definitely a chilly start. Got down to 46 degrees in Anniston, 47 in Gadsden. Even down in the southwestern part of the state, we got into the upper 40s as well. Got down to 49 in Thomasville, 48 in Demopolis, got 49 in Troy, got a few 50s here and there, but lots of 40s across a good portion of the state. Birmingham only made it to 50 with a kind of a little bit of a heat island going on there, but even all the way down to the coast got into the upper 50s. So it looks like everybody across the state just about got into the 50s this morning. Looking at our Skywatcher reports, wake-up temperatures there for Lee Wingington and Jasper got to 47. Ryan Mooring in Mooresville and Andy Klein and Helena got both to 48 degrees. Jake Argo in North Calera, 49. And Susan Campbell in Anniston got down to 53 degrees. And what we're watching for today and the rest of this week, so the dry weather continues for the next several days. We'll expect to really be dry through the work week especially. Warm afternoons, cool nights. We continue that trend. It'll be pretty comfortable out there with the low humidity. Rain begins to return in the forecast as we get into Sunday, probably late in the night on Saturday as well as possible, especially in the northwestern corner of the state. But the main day we expect to have some rain and probably some thunderstorms as well will be on Sunday. Here's a look at your temperatures right now. We're in the 60s in the northern part of the state up in the Tennessee Valley and the northeastern hills and valleys at 65 in Anniston, 66 in Gadsden, 68 in Huntsville. Low 70s across a good portion of the central and southern part of the state, 72 in Demopolis and in Selma. We're 72 in Geneva as well. And again, down towards the coast, we're already up into the mid 70s. And we expect as we get into the afternoon, that will be primarily in the 80s again, like we've seen a lot lately. 83 will forecast in Clanton, 85 in Montgomery, maybe only upper 70s in some spots like Coleman. And we could certainly approach and probably will approach 90 degrees the next couple of afternoons or through a good portion of the next several days in the southern part of the state, especially getting to 88 degrees in Andalusia, 87 in Chatham. But again, because we'll have low humidity, won't feel too bad. It'll still be relatively comfortable out there. Futurecast here is just not much to show here except for just dry northerly flow. Not much in the way of clouds as we get into the evening tonight. And as we go into tomorrow morning, we stay calm, continue that northerly flow of the wind here as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Hardly any clouds around at all. And then as we get into Wednesday, maybe a few more clouds trying to start to form in the southern part of the state. We might start to get a little bit more of an easterly flow, and we'll start to see those winds turn around a little bit later in the week to help bring some moisture back into the state before we get that rain in here as we get into the late weekend. And here's a look at the mid-level pattern. So we've got this ridge right here building into the area over the next several days. That's going to help warm us up in the afternoons. But like I mentioned, because we won't be seeing any moisture returning quite yet, it will still be pretty comfortable and not humid. Then we'll have this big trough starting to dig in as we head later in the week. And this is going to be kind of the weather maker for the weekend. It's going to help to bring the rain as that swings through as we get through the weekend. That's going to have a low pressure associated with it and a cold front that's going to get dragged through the state as we get into Sunday and into Monday, and that will bring us our chance of rain and thunderstorms. And looking at a rainfall outlook, and this is the outlook through Sunday, you can see, especially up in the Tennessee Valley, northwestern corner near the shoals, it's going to be maybe 3/4 of an inch possible with this event. We'll hope we'll get an inch or more in some spots. Half inch looks like pretty likely across a good portion of the northern and western part of the state. Looks a little bit dry on the eastern side of the state. Some of that could just be the fact that we're looking at this through Sunday. I think we'll expect to see a little bit more as we move into Monday as that front moves through here. So not a drought buster type of rain, but we'll take anything we can get. Anything where we can get some widespread rainfall is good at this point. Temperature outlook is still looking pretty warm across the state for this is basically starting on Sunday and going into next week. So not looking at a huge cool down coming, although again, we've gotten down in the 40s the last couple mornings, so that's been kind of refreshing. Here's your 7-day forecast, and again, no rain for basically the entire work week here, just sunshine every day. We'll expect to, again, kind of moderate or warm as we head into the middle part of the week with highs getting into the mid-80s in the northern part of the state, lows still mostly in the 50s, and then maybe a little bit more in the low 60s as we head into the weekend. Again, we will see the moisture starting to return, so the low temperatures in the morning will bump up a little bit, and there's that better rain chance and, again, thunderstorm chance as we get into Sunday. For South Alabama, primarily mid to upper 80s, some places maybe touching 90 for the next several days with the low humidity still, though. And then eventually those lows start to get back into the low 60s as well, with a higher chance of rain again coming mainly as we get into Sunday, but there still could be a few there on Saturday as well. That is your Alabama forecast update for now. We appreciate you watching us on the Alabama Weather Network.